create a new level. Then add a light, skylight. Then put some fog. Then just add a sky sphere. Now I'm just tuning some parameters to fit the project. Here I'm just adding a piece of racetrack just to have an idea of the size of the landscape. To create a new landscape, just go in the landscape tool. We are just selecting the landscape material. Then you can choose the size you want. Then create. Now we are just setting the layer info. Now I'm just tweaking some parameters in the post-process volume just to have the right brightness of the scene. Just saving the project. Just replacing an object just to have an idea of the scale of the landscape. Now just go in the sculpting mode in the landscape tool just to create some terrain. You can create your landscape manually or use a tool like World Machine. Create a racetrack, just go in Landscape Tool, Manage, Spline Mesh Tool. Just have a look at the width of the racetrack and press Ctrl plus left click just to add the spline points. Then we need to check the width of the racetrack. Just change the value and apply a mesh. And just continue the racetrack by placing new points. Now just select all the points and apply all splines. And as you can see, we can see that the grass is in the bad position. To correct this, we just need to paint the grass layer again. This will correct the position of the grass. And I will show you later how to remove the grass on the track. Using the spline tool, you can easily change parts of the track. Just create new segments and replace them. As you can see, you can change easily parts. create the barriers and the border of the racetrack, just use the landscape spline mesh tool. Just check out the width of the object, create new points, and set the right value of the width of the spline. Just add the mesh to the segments. If you have a bad orientation, you just need to change the scale of the mesh of the segment and just add new points like this. And this is the same process for all the racetrack. You just have to use the spline mesh tool and place barrier, place racetrack, place tires, and so on. This is a very simple process, just add points and meshes. For the tire walls, I'm using the spline mesh tool too. This is a very useful tool for this project because it's deforming the mesh along the spline. As you can see, you can change easily the mesh just to create variations or to have the right mesh. If you have weird segments, you just have to play with the spline points at the tangents of the points. Next step is to use the paint tool available in the landscape tool. Just select the layer you want. If you want to paint grass, gravel, dirt, asphalt or whatever you want, just select the layer and choose a good size of brush. If you want to add foliage around the track, just use the foliage tool. If you have bad intersection between the terrain and the racetrack, just use the sculpt tool with a small strain value. To remove the grass meshes on the track, you just have to paint another layer which do not contain a grass type. Again, just find the right values and just paint over the racetrack. To create safety cars entrances, just have to delete some segments, create new points, replace some meshes, just add some fences, move the control points. Add some tires. We can continue the fences and just correct the spline points and just delete the segment. Once finished, we can add some tribune, like this. To make a custom tribune, you have to use the modular pieces. It's a very repetitive process, and you just have to know how to scale and to translate objects. Once you have finished creating your tribune, just select all pieces and use the merge tool. This will create a single mesh. To create the pit line entrance, just click on the spline point and apply a mesh on the point, not on the segment but on the point. It's very important. Then just play a little bit with the control points. To continue the pit line, just click on the last point and just simply add extra points. We can now put the right mesh for the pit line just by selecting the different segment and applying the right mesh. Here I'm just putting a smaller value for the side fall-off in order to prevent from having issues with the racetrack. And basically we are using the same technique for the exit of the pit line. Just click on a control point and apply the mesh for the exit. Then you will have to join 2 points. If weird things happen, just play a bit with the control points, rotation, scale, and remove some or just add. For the pit building, it's using the same technique as the tribune. Just place prefabs or you can build your own. Keep in mind that it's modular, so you can adapt the building to your project. Then we can place manually some details like the position indicator or the start lights. You can manually add some barriers, tires, or whatever you want. Materials are made in a way that you can easily change textures. This way you can use your own landscape material and then adapt the border texture. To match perfectly, you can use the different parameters. The pack is delivered with decals. You just have to plate them manually on the racetrack and play with rotation and scale. Using all the techniques, you will end up with a result like this. I really hope this video was useful for you, and if you need extra information, just contact me.